Let me guess. You're trying to get comfortable with a blanket and read, and you're realising that doesn't work.
Yeah, how did you know?
Okay, I'm gonna help you out. Here, try this.
Oh, what is this? It's so soft. Look, it's all the bunnies.
Just try it.
Oh, okay.
This is the Oodie. The Oodie is like a jumper crossed with a blanket, crossed with a cloud. It is super soft, and this is because it has an ultra soft flannel fleece exterior with a Sherpa lined fleece interior. With these two combined, it's just like a cloud. It's heaven. It also comes with a giant pocket, which is perfect for keeping your annotating supplies and snacks included within this.
Thank you so much. It's so beautiful and soft. It's so soft, and I can read. I can read my book, and there's no problem. What about my friends?
Don't worry, they can use a code that you've been gifted. Readingearthnymph35. If they use this code, they can get up to £35 off of their own Oodie.
Thank you, Bunny.
Yes, enjoy. Goodbye.
Thank you so much to the Oodie for partnering with me for this video. I got the bunny Oodie, but there are so many styles to choose from, so if you would like your very own perfect reading companion, then look no further. Using my discount code, which will be in the description below, you can use that to get £35 off of your order. So once again, thank you to the Oodie. Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we are doing my Jane Austen ranking. Before I rank them though, I actually just wanted to give an overview of each of the books and where I think is a really good place to start. So as we know, Jane Austen is an amazing classic author and she's known for her romance books. That is what she focused on, and honestly she is like the godmother to romance genre in my opinion. So where to start? Especially if you're new to classics, it can be a bit intimidating sometimes to read some classics, but for Jane Austen she does have a couple of unfinished novels and just a very short story in general. So a good place to start would be Jane Austen's Lady Susan's, The Watsons or Sandation. Generally they are always combined into one volume. Now the Watsons and Sandation aren't finished, they're quite rough forms, something that where she had either put down to focus on other works or passed away before she could finish. Now Lady Susan is a complete story, but it's done through letters, which I really enjoy. It was so easy to get into her works, especially because I tackled Pride and Prejudice first, and this was before I was really into classics, and I did find it really slow at first. Reading this however was really fast paced, really fun. You just get thrown in, and because it's all letters, they assume you already know as the reader who these people are, so it's very quick. There's no slowing down or describing everything because it's letters to each other, and it's all about a scandal that Lady Susan causes because she loves to court men that she really shouldn't be caught in. It's fun. It's a fun time. Lady Susan is definitely an interesting character. I really recommend this as a good starting point if you're not used to reading classics but want to try Jane Austen. Lady Susan's or any of the other two books in this collection a really good point. The other two will give you more of a feeling of what the rest of the books are going to be like, her sort of writing style and everything. It's just a little bit of a taster, and they're not too long, so it's not a massive commitment. So Lady Susan's herself is only 68 pages long. The Watsons is also 60 pages long, and Sandation is about 70, just under 70. So none of them are really long, they're not going to be that time consuming, so if you're really not sure whether you want to commit yourself to Jane Austen or not, this is a really good option. Okay, then we have Persuasion, and this is like a second chance romance. Now I'm gonna be honest, I don't really read contemporary romance, so you'll have to bear with me on this. I've tried putting them with tropes, but also it's a bit hard. But yes, Persuasion is a second chance romance. We are following Anne Elliot, and she kind of listened to everyone at when she was younger, when she got a marriage proposal and didn't marry this man that she really had feelings for. And now he's back on the scene. She still has feelings for him. He still has feelings for her, but he's still feeling very hurt by her rejection. And you're just seeing that love story unfold, and you're seeing Anne grow as a person and not be so easily persuaded by people, just being her own person. I personally found this a bit of a quieter, slower story, but Second Chance Romance, if you do like that, then this is a good classic for that. Then we have Sense and Sensibility, which I couldn't really pair with a trope. Again, romance tropes, it's not my thing, but it's about these, well, you have this bigger family, but you're following mainly two sisters, Marianne and Eleanor, and one of them is really, really sensible, and one of them is full of emotions, hence the sense and sensibility part of this. And we're following these two sisters as they go through their romantic endeavours. We have a man that gets involved that really isn't that good and ends up breaking one of the sisters' heart. Then we have another person that, again, seems to be entangled with also, honestly, there's actually a lot of scandal in this book. For the time period and everything, there is so much scandal. Actually, even in general, because we've got someone that's secretly engaged to someone but courting someone else. We have someone that is openly courting someone but then says, oh no, I wasn't courting them, but definitely is leading them on like that, and then runs off and has a kid with somebody else and all sorts of stuff going on. So this is just full of scandal. I don't know what romance trope though, so if you know, please put in the comments below, because I'm just not sure. And then we have Mansfield Park, again another one which I'm not 100% sure on like the romance trope of this, but this is definitely a quieter, slower book. We're following Fanny, and Fanny has gone to her uncle because her family just can't support her anymore. They've got too many kids, and so she goes to be taken in with the uncle and stuff. However, they do treat her really poorly. They treat her almost as if she's a slave, but she doesn't mind this. She's like, you know what, you're doing a lot for me. I don't mind helping out because in return you're giving me a roof over my head and food in my stomach. Fanny is someone that is just so relaxed. Like, she doesn't get bothered about things. She's really chill. She's just happy in her life doing what she wants. And she's really quite a stubborn person as well, because when she gets a marriage proposal, everyone is telling her to go for it. You know, she has to do this, otherwise what's the point, and she's never going to get this opportunity again. But she's steadfast in her thing of going, no, I'm very happy. She's pining after someone. She's happy to stay that way. She knows who she wants to marry, and she's steadfast in her opinion, as much as they are trying to like force her into this. She's very much like, nope. And obviously Fanny holds true. She ends up with the person that she wanted, and the person that she would have accepted a marriage proposal if she listened to everyone is someone that was honestly terrible. He has a bit of a scandal going on for himself. So this was really lovely. I know a lot of people find this one quite slow, but I really enjoyed this one. Okay, then we have one that I personally feel is a bit more of a rom-com, bearing in mind I haven't read any rom-coms, but that is kind of how I'm feeling like. This is definitely Jane Austen's more comedic book. It's hilarious. It is a take on Anne Radcliffe's and other authors' gothic work, but mainly Anne Radcliffe, and putting a comedic spin on it. So we are following Catherine Morland, and Catherine Morland is someone with a vivid imagination. She loves books, and this is honestly a love story to books as well. But yeah, she loves books, she adores them, but she gets so carried away. So she's reading The Mysteries of Udolpho, and because of this, because of that book, because it's a gothic mystery horror-y element to it, I need to read it. She then starts thinking that the family that she's gone to stay with, because she loves the son and she's hoping to like get herself in there, she then starts thinking that the dad is not very nice and that he's done something to the wife because the wife had passed away. And so she, because she's so heavily influenced by this book and she's staying in quite a creepier, like gothic-y building, she really runs away with the imagination. Like, she makes up this whole story in her mind of how the dad killed the wife, or how the wife is actually alive but just being like almost like a Mrs. Rochester type thing where she's being kept away, and she just runs with it. Thankfully, the son, the person that she's actually interested in, finds it all hilarious. He doesn't mind this at all. There is a bit of like normal with Jane Austen, with how there's a bit of scandal and stuff in, there's marriage proposals that she then turns down, like there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's just purely fun. If you want something that's fun, light-hearted, this is the one. Then we have Emma, and Emma I kind of see as almost like a friends to lovers in a way. And this one we're following Emma. This is another fun one where we're following Emma, and she loves matchmaking. She adores it. She doesn't want to get married herself. She doesn't want kids or anything. She's like, I have nephews for that. I don't need kids of my own, and I'm not interested in being married. I'm very happy with where I am. However, I'm going to make sure my friends all get married, and she's going to try and set them up, and she takes credit for things that she really had no part in, and she just makes a mess. She makes an absolute mess. She is a terrible friend. Honestly, terrible. I feel so sorry for her friend because she just gets the worst end of the stick all the time, and Emma's constantly like, but I am being nice. Like, I'm such a good friend. I'm trying to set her up with people, and it's just like, Emma, please leave her alone. And like, Emma will say things without thinking and end up upsetting people because she doesn't think about it. Like, she's so mindless. But you see her character growth, you see her grow from being that person to then realising, oh, actually, maybe I should be a bit better. Maybe I should think before I speak. Maybe I should think about other people's feelings, and this isn't like a game that I should be playing with other people. And so, yeah, it's nice seeing that growth. And then the romance and everything kind of blossoms and stuff. It's one of those ones where there's a massive age gap and everything in this, so like an age gap romance as well. I don't know. I really hesitate to say all the different tropes and stuff because I'm not very good at it. I don't read that romance sort of thing. There is an age gap in this, but it's kind of normal for the time period and everything. And yeah, you see how that all goes. And then of course, Pride and Prejudice, the original enemies to lovers, in my opinion. But I mean, don't take that for gospel because I don't know. But enemies to lovers, we are following Elizabeth Bennet, and Elizabeth Bennet does not like Mr. Darcy at all. She finds him very rude and obnoxious and prideful, and she's like, nope, that's it. I'm not interested in you. She herself is very forward thinking. She's very much like, ugh, mother, stop trying to pair us up with people. She's had enough of all of that. She will do things that she wants and will do them on her own, regardless of what society and propriety says. Like, she's very headstrong. I'll give it that. Like, she is. And I can see why this is a favourite of so many people's, because you see Elizabeth stand up for herself time and time again. But she's also very prejudiced. Like, she has really, really strong opinions. As a result, it means that her and Mr. Darcy are constantly on opposing sides until he comes out with a proposal that is god awful. Like, it is dreadful. It basically goes, so your family is awful, but I love you anyway? And that can't seem to put me off, so you must marry me. And it's like, fail of a proposal, but so that was honestly entertaining, and I have to admit there are some entertaining parts throughout this. Actually, in most of her books, I did find some entertaining parts in this. I hope that those overviews, like brief overviews, I've tried to keep it as brief as possible for those that actually want to read them, as much as Jane Austen, like, these books have been around for years, absolutely years, so a lot of people are going to know the plots of these already, especially something like Pride and Prejudice, where there's been so many adaptations, and it's probably her, I want to say her most well known, but there have been adaptations for all of her books. However, let's get into the ranking of where I personally feel with these books. Please bear in mind, this is my opinion, and I know everyone has different views. My least favourite could be somebody else's favourite. It's perfectly normal. My favourite could be somebody else's least favourite book. I think with Jane Austen, there is a Jane Austen book for everyone, depending on the sort of romance that you like. And that will definitely sway you with where you start with this, which is why I gave the overviews first, because my ranking of this, you might actually go, but actually, this book sounds amazing, why haven't you put it higher up? It's just my personal reading preferences. Okay, so that's enough of that out the way. So actually in last place, bear in mind actually, again, sorry, all of these books I did enjoy. So this was really hard to do. Right, so last place we have Persuasion. Now I liked it, but I found the beginning of it really, really slow. And as much as, don't get me wrong, second chance romance and stuff, I'm not against, it's just, it was slow. It was really, really slow, and I understood where the characters were feeling and why they were being so slow and careful around each other and things. Like, I do understand it. However, for me, I did find this a bit slower to get through. But I can also say that I know I still enjoyed this one. I know I can still reread it and have a good time with it, but I just think I've got to be in the right mindset for it, and it's probably one of those books that maybe at a different time in my life I will prefer it. So yeah, take everything I say with a pinch of salt with this ranking. But yes, this one I just found a bit too slow. Then I put Sense and Sensibility next, and again, not because I didn't enjoy it, but I think I read this one very soon after reading Pride and Prejudice, and I just found them really, really similar, and I preferred Elizabeth Bennet as a character than Marianne and Eleanor. Thinking about it, and with me talking about it, the amount of scandal that's in it, I really think that this is an amazing book. I just think I read it too soon after reading Pride and Prejudice, and I did prefer Pride and Prejudice, so that's why this one seems a little bit lower. Well, it is lower in my ranking because of it, but again, I know that this is something that I enjoy, and I think I'm going to prefer it more on the second time, and it could potentially beat Pride and Prejudice, maybe. I don't know, I really liked Elizabeth as a character. I thought she was really cool, but definitely one, I mean, honestly, this is really hard. Really hard. Have you ever tried ranking a load of books that you genuinely enjoyed? It's ridiculously hard, and that's where I'm at with this one. But at the time when I was reading this, I did find it a bit too similar to Pride and Prejudice, and that's why it's lower. And then I've put Mansfield Park. Now, Mansfield Park is a book where at times, depending on the day that you ask me, this is my favourite. At other times, it's at this place, which is number 4 out of her actual novels. I really like this book. I like that it's slow. I like that Fanny is just steadfast in her opinion. This is a comfort book, and that's what I'm feeling. So it depends on the day how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling like I need a comfort book, then I'm going to automatically pick up this one, because it's just, it was just comforting. Fanny herself, being so sure in herself, was just lovely to read. And yes, it is slow, but I really liked it. I'm in a really fun, happy mood today, so I'm in the, I want all the happy ones that give me fun vibes at the ranking. But last night when I was going through this, I actually put this one a lot higher. It's literally just this morning, now that I'm filming it, I'm like, actually, you know what? No, that can be a bit lower. And this is what I mean by these books. I've enjoyed all of them, so ranking them is really hard. So don't take this as concrete, because it's really hard. But yes, I did really enjoy this one, and it's just that slower pace, comforting, nothing dramatic, and that's, sometimes you need that. Then comes Pride and Prejudice, and this was good. Obviously, it's the classic. It's the one where people go, Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. It's like the same thing. However, when I first read this, I've only read it once, that first 100 pages, oh god, was it slow. Oh, it was so slow. And it was really hard to get into. But then once you got past that bit, it really picks up, you get to know all the characters, you do everything. Like, yes, I've only read all of these books once, which is why I'm doing the ranking video now. And Pride and Prejudice was the first one that I picked up. And I do think, again, upon reread, I'm going to appreciate this so much more, because I will know what to expect with that first 100 pages. I know Jane Austen's writing, I can appreciate it a bit better. For first time reading, this is going in the 3rd spot. And then again, we're at a bit of a tie, because I just don't know which one to put first. But I think the 2nd spot is going to go to Northanger Abbey. I really, really enjoyed this book. It was so good. I have so much appreciation for this book, and Jane Austen, you can tell she wrote this one for her. It was so much fun. She calls out the reader and goes, you enjoy reading, so why are you putting authors down? Why is being an author not seen as a credible profession? Like, she does, and literally it's in the middle of the story, and she literally just has this 2-page rant about it, and I loved it for that. I loved the fact that we were just following a character who adores reading, and it was funny and great. And honestly, the more I'm talking about it, I'm like, it should be in the top spot, because it was great. But I'm sticking with 2nd. We're going with gut instinct here. And so that means out of her 6 finished novels, my top spot today is going to Emma. That's genuinely because I just had so much fun reading this. Like, out of all of them, apart from Northanger Abbey, I read that one after Emma. This is the first one where I can go, oh, I enjoyed this from page 1. It was so much fun. Like, for me, there was no slow build up into this. It was straight into Emma thinking that she's freaking amazing, that she can't do any wrong, and you're literally just laughing. And it's so good. It's so funny. Like, Emma is such a silly character, and I had so much fun reading this book. So yeah, I think As much as I do love Northanger Abbey, I still think that upon reread, Emma is still the one that's going to make me chuckle every single time, the one that I can really gel with. It was great, and I liked the romance in this. I will say the ending of all of Jane Austen books does always feel a bit sudden, apart from Mansfield Park, which has a really nice ending, really slow and feels really good. The rest of them all feel a bit more abrupt, and this one does have that in a way, but also a bit more of like a, oh, of course moment. And I liked that. So yeah, this was really good. I enjoyed this. Now you may be thinking, well, you spoke about her short stories and you haven't actually included it in your ranking, and that is because I think it's a bit unfair to rank this compared to her 6 finished novels. This was fun, and I stick to what I said. If you are trying to get into Jane Austen, then pick this one up. It is a good starting point. However, they're not finished. Like, 2 of these stories aren't finished. One of them is just letters. I enjoy it. I'm going to reread these happily, but I just feel unfair ranking them with the 6 other novels because they aren't finished. So for that, I'm not ranking it as part of this, but I did want to mention it because it's really good and it's such a good place to start with these books. Okay, so here is my ranking for all these books. Does this actually really annoy me because I've got so many books in different editions? Yes. However, I really wanted to show off my deluxe classic editions because I've only got Emma and Pride and Prejudice in these, and I don't think all 6 of her books are in that. So I really wanted to show that off. The ones that I'm actually going to be collecting and changing all my editions to are these ones, the English Library ones, but I don't have all of them in it. So Northanger Abbey, Persuasion, I still need to get, as well as Pride and Prejudice. This is like really bothering my OCD, but it's fine. But that's my ranking for the books. Please let me know what's your favourite, what is your ranking, what's your favourite, what's your least favourite. If you don't want to do all of them, just do those 2. Or have you even read any Jane Austen? I never thought I would, to be quite honest, and then I was like, ah, sod it, I saw them in the charity shop for £1 and I was like, alright then, I'll give it a try. And then I've become a Jane Austen fan because, like, yes. So yeah, let me know. Regardless, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I very much enjoyed filming it, and I've enjoyed the process of reading them. It's been a few months for me to actually read all of them because I wouldn't read a Jane Austen novel every single month, but it was so good, and these are all books that I would highly recommend and I would reread very happily. I enjoyed this. This was a really fun video for me to make. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. But I think for the thumbnail, let's put, or I don't even know, hang on. I was gonna say like a dress, but do we have a dress emoji? There is a dress emoji. Let's put a dress because all of these ladies have beautiful dresses in here as well. So, well, I love the descriptions of them. Anyway, dress emoji. And if you have enjoyed it, please do give it that thumbs up, subscribe, comment to let me know that you're here. Social media links will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the next one.